Alright guys, welcome back to another video of the Python tutorial series, and in this particular video we are going to be talking about string methods in Python. Now, before you actually understand string methods, you have to understand object-oriented programming, but I'm not going to teach object-oriented programming right now because that's a bit advanced. But what you need to know is that a string, an integer, a boolean, all the data types in Python that we've learned so far are all objects, and then these objects have certain functions that can operate on them that could maybe probably change their nature or change them, tweak them a bit. These functions are called methods, and in the case of strings, those that are specific to strings, we call them string methods. And what you do is that you basically have a string, then you call a particular string method on it, and it's as if you are passing that string to a function. And I've already said that functions take in inputs, and they will do something to the input, and then they will bring out an output. So when you call a string method on this particular string that you've created, it will do something to this string and then return something for you to work with. Right, so we are going to start with that. Yeah. Now, inside my atom text editor over here, I'm going to right click and then create a new file, which you can also do by using the shortcut A. So I could just press A and then I'll create a new file. So right click here, new file, and then I'm going to name the file string underscore methods dot py. Now, inside my Python file, I'm going to create an initial string. So I could be like name, as in my name, equals Trevenue44. But I'm going to write this with a capital V just for demonstration. Trevenue44, like this. But then I have to put quotation marks around it. So you put quotation marks here and quotation marks here. This is how you define a string in Python. So now I've created a string in Python. How do we access the particular string methods that are there? All you have to do is to basically refer to the string that you want to call the method on. Then you press the dot. When you press the dot, it will bring up a lot of methods that are already there. So there is dot format, there is join, just join, split, replace, strip, a whole lot of things over here. So you have to go and look at this on your own, but I will look at some examples over here. So when I do name.capitalize, it brings one. Now, this is how you write string methods, or this is basically how you access the method of any object. So you call the name of the object, you bring the dot, and then you bring the name of the method, the particular method that you want to, the particular method that you want to access. Now, what I'm going to do right here is to print out this particular thing to the user. Now, I've got name up there, and I'll have name.capitalize. So I'm going to print name.capitalize on the terminal for us. I'm going to save this file. Now, when I save this file, I'm going to go into my folder, how we do it. Write in cmd here, and then inside this particular directory, I'm going to type inside this particular directory. I'm trying to make it a bit bigger so that all of us can see I'm in. So inside this directory, I'm just going to type Python string methods, just how we run our normal Python code. Right, so I've typed Python string methods, and then when I press the enter key, realize that the nature of this string over here, what I've highlighted here, this one, is a bit different from what I've written at the top over here. This one has the first letter being small, and then there's a capital V inside somewhere. But when you use the capitalize, it capitalizes whatever string you have given it, and then you return the capitalized form of that string. So you see that the first letter of this particular string I've written over here is capitalized. So this is how you do capitalization. Very easy. There are other methods that are there. For example, string.upper, string.lower. The upper one will return the uppercase, the lower one will return the lowercase, and then a whole lot are there. So what I'm going to do right here is to use a few of them so that we look at them and see how they actually function. Right. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to have, so that's for capitalize. So I'm going to have another string here called capitalize, right? And when I have capitalize here, is that what it means spell capitalize? Well, we'll find out. If I have capitalize over here, I'm going to concatenate this string, this capitalized string, with a string that will be returned after I do capitalize like this. Well, so yes, that's the way to spell capitalize. So I have a string here called capitalized, and I'm just going to put semicolon at the end so that it will make sense. So I have a string here called capitalized semicolon whatever, and then this particular one to also return another string, which will be the capitalized form of this particular name string that we have. Now when it returns that, I'm going to sort of concatenate the two of them, add them together, and then I'm going to print out this result, this whole thing on the terminal. So I'm going to print both this and this together. How this makes some sort of sense to you, because there is a string over here already. This particular thing will return a string, so it's as if the capitalized form of this particular string. So it's as if you have something like this over here. So it's as if the capitalized form of this particular string is here, and then when you put these two strings together, you kind of you kind of concatenate the two of them, put the two of them together side by side, something like that, and they become just one string. So that's what I'm going to do. Right, so I'm going to have something like this, and yeah, this is for capitalize. Now I'm going to copy this and paste it a few more times below it for other methods that are there. Oops. I'm going to copy this, paste it here, paste it like this, and then for the next one I'm going to do upper. So the upper method, and then we'll just call the upper method on the string and see what will happen. And then there's a lower method, and then I'll call the lower method on the string and see what will happen. Then there's another one too, is alpha. Yeah, we can do that one and see. Is alpha. And I'm going to call that one to is alpha over here. Right. So basically I'm just going to do all of this, like I'm doing about 4 of them. And then please note the way in which these particular things are written. They are all written in small letters with underscore separating them using snail casing. Is this called snail casing? Yeah, I believe it's called that. Hey, sorry, it's called snake casing. Sorry, it's called snake casing because it looks like a snake, I believe. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. You get a point. You get a point. So right now that I've created this, I've saved it, and I'm going to go back into my terminal, clear everything, and I am going to run the code again. Well, yeah, there is an error. Said the string has no attribute dot alpha. Sorry, it's alpha. Where is it? Alright guys, so I figured out the error. I am essentially there's not supposed to be an underscore over there. It's supposed to be is alpha as one word, and now so it's the actual function is supposed to be is alpha, but if I run this particular code again, I'll still get an error. But let me just show you what that error says before we actually continue. So I'm going to run this code, Python string methods. That wasn't what I wrote. String methods of py. Yeah. So I'm going to run this code, and then I get this error, that type error. You can only concatenate string, not boolean, to string. Right. So this is a string, and I'm trying to concatenate it to something that is returning a boolean, a boolean thing, a boolean data type. And a boolean in programming is just true or false, and I cannot concatenate boolean with string. Right. So what I'm going to do is to just print out this one on its own, or I'm not going to concatenate it. See, the print function allows you to put in a comma over here so that you can print 2 things at the same time. So I'm going to put a comma over there, and I'm going to go back to the code, clear everything, and run it again. Let's see what happens. Right. So now it says that when you capitalize it, you see that it has, Trevor New 44 with the T capitalized. When you find the upper, you use the upper method on it, it changes everything to the capitalized form. Lower obviously changes everything to the lower case. And then to check whether it is alpha, it's an alphabet. It's just, if the string is just made of letters of the alphabet, then it will return true. But in this case, I have 44 in there, which is a number, so it is not alphabet. If it were to be alphanumeric that I've written over here, then that would have worked. Right. So yeah, basically that's it. There are other string methods that are there. You can basically just do name dot, and then you get a lot of them. If you are using a very good IDE or text editor, you definitely get a lot of them. If you have any problems, just let me know. Feel free, leave your problems in the comment section. I'll definitely check them out for you. And your task for this particular video, before the next video of course, is for you to just go to Google, search for all the string methods that are there in Python, like have some knowledge of them being there, know that they exist, so that when you need them, you know when to use them. For now, that's it for this particular video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers. I like saying cheers nowadays. I'll see you.